More exciting, it seems. Our last episode, certainly no exception. Donnie Gauthier finishing first with a 2:45, but Jim Curvin came up with a big 1:42 in the second string. He finished second at 2:42. Two more bowlers will move on today.
And we've got some exceptionally colorful videotape to show you right now. It's a reminder that you should see your local retailer or drop by your local bowling center for details on how you could be a winner at the conclusion of our 92-93 season. We will make a draw for a trip for two to any Club Med resort in North America. That includes their fabulous resorts in Mexico and the Caribbean. See your local retailer or bowling center today for details. Could you imagine a week? Club Med.
No nice, problem at all.
Yeah.
That's 15 seconds. Give me a week.
Don't forget to find out about details on how you can enter the contest today. Now let's get right to the bowlers. The leadoff bowler today in round one of Belvedere Super Pins, Peter Rayfuse, comes to us from Kingston, Nova Scotia, has a 115 average, is a member of the 400 Club, high single 169. Paul Judge from Lower Sackville, Nova Scotia, not far from our bowling center here, bowls here at the Super Bowl with a 119 average, high triple 457. The high single 189. Our third bowler today from Rogersville, New Brunswick, Paul Bernard, has an average 127 and that high triple 470. Impressive numbers coming into Belvedere Super Pins today. And our anchor bowler is Joe King from Rossay, New Brunswick, bowls at the Bullmore, Haymarket Square, and in St. John. Well, that is in St. John, of course. Average is 118. Joe's high triple 435 and the high single 183. Haymarket Square. Right down by the Courtney Causeway there.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sure. I should know. Anyway, we have more than just the four bowlers today who will be competing for the opportunity to go to our second round. We also have another edition of Celebrity Bowling, and standing by with the celebs is Nancy Reagan. Nance?
Okay. Thanks a lot, Paul. Very tough match shaping up here today. Kurt Studley, ASN sportscaster and newscaster. Trevor Steinberg, AHL hockey player. Trevor was here last year. Kurt, this is your first year. Are you nervous?
Not at all. I've been practicing for about an hour now, and I'm ready to go.
Are you intimidated, Trevor?
Well, somewhat, yeah. I think he's
Why?
got that eye of the tiger in him.
Nice try. Kurt, you're bowling for the Canadian Council for the Blind. Trevor, you're bowling for the Atlantic Alliance of Food Banks. And I guess we'll see how you both do a little later in the show. We'll look forward to it. Thanks. Back to you, Paul.
All right, thank you, Nancy. We're ready to roll here on a Saturday afternoon on ATV. Peter Rayfuse, Kingston, Nova Scotia. Mentioned that average of 115, the high triple 411, bowls at the LMK lanes in Middleton.
And it's Peter's first appearance in front of our ATV cameras in our Belvedere Super Pin series. And nice to have Peter aboard. Leading things off, our anchor bowler today, Joe King, also his first appearance. There's a nice hit for Peter Rayfuse and a tough leave at the second ball. A little bit of a story regarding Peter Rayfuse and how he got here. We've told you over and over again how difficult it is to get in this series. But he qualified in-house down the LMK lanes in Middleton and then went to the zone roll-off. And it's a 5-string roll-off with 1 string to go. He was ahead of Scott Freeman. Watch a nice hit here. Ahead of Scott Freeman by just a single pin. And Scott Freeman tossed in the final string a 152. This guy tossed a 153.
Wow.
So pretty exciting stuff, and that's how Peter Rayfuse got here. Nice cleanup there. Rayfuse opens with a 9 and a 10 to open. And he will give way to Paul Judge. Paul Judge has been here before, but it's been a long time. The very first series we had. And that was back in the days when we were doing a mixed series. Paul was on that show.
Been bowling for over 20 years.
Yeah. Stretched out a little bit. And the late falling pin there. That's not a terrific piece of wood out in front. Hard to say which way he played that one. I'm not sure. That was a real tough piece of wood and a tough break for Paul Judge. Comes back and gets his 10, though. We go to the other side. 119 the average for Paul. Bowls in the Pro League here at the Super Bowl. 457 the triple, 189. It's 11 pins shy of the 200 Club.
Oh, big hit there.
Big hit there. This is a great setup for Paul Judge this time. Although he does have a piece of wood rolling well up the lanes now. Still should be able to get right on the end of the pin here and make a spare.
Which he does. So it's our first mark of the day as Paul Judge takes a seat and makes way for our third bowler, Paul Bernard, from Rogersville, New Brunswick.
Well, Paul bowls out of the Bowlerama in Douglastown. And as you say, he's a good one. 127 the average, 197 the high single, 470 the triple. And a good hit there, 7 now, 8 pins going down. Wood that should end up in the channel, and it does. And a good 6-10 split for Paul Bernard. Ooh, right on the 6, didn't carry the 10. Paul Bernard married to Janine, Serge, Claudette, and Leah, and Joanne. Say hello to them. Nice to have Paul Bernard back with us. Been here a couple times, in fact. It's pretty good there, but a tricky piece of wood out in front. You see the wood there. You want to be about here and just turn it a little bit, rather, back in to the 4, then onto the 5 and the 8. It's up high, makes the shot good. And Paul Bernard picks up his first mark. Now, we'll go to Joe King. Joe King, our anchor bowler. Rosse, New Brunswick. Good hit for Joe in the opening round.
Nice little late action there. Leaves the 2, 7, and 10. Good coverage on that 7 pin for Joe King. It's got to be on the front one, though. Just missed.
Joe King, Rossi, bowls out of the Bowmore, rather. Lanes in the Haymarket Square. Picks up the 9 there. Want to say hello to Jason King. That's Joe's son. That's doing pretty good to start with, Jason. Picked up the 9 there. Nice 3-pin split here. Wood turning.
Oh, this is pretty good looking wood.
Well, he might have a problem here. We'll get another look at that again with the 7-pin. He's left the 2, 4, and the 7. This is the 7-pin right back here. He puts it in there, he'll carry the 2 here and the 4, but look out for the 7.
Oh, he does get the
turn.
7.
The wood turned in on the 2 after it fell and took it into the 7, and that's a nice spare for Joe King. Back to the top of the order now, Peter Rafuse.
Peter looking for his first mark of the day. All the other bowlers have put marks up on the board, and we'll be open on them when they get up.
Look at this. Well, let's wait and see with the wood. Well, he might get one more.
Oh, he does. Well, this is perfect.
Yeah, you can see in the corner what's happening, and Peter's responds to it. This is a great setup now. The piece of wood that's out of the channel a little bit. Oh, and he got through the hole. That is really tough for Peter Rafuse. Peter likes to play some hockey in the wintertime, of course, bowl, fish in the summertime, and he likes to camp a little bit. Bit of an outdoorsman. Peter Rafuse. Bowls over the LMK lanes down in Middleton. Say hello to Wayne and all the gang down there. His wife Donna, children Sean and Stephanie. Not a bad out there for Peter. Wood coming back, might get another one. Moved it off the spot, won't fall. So a 9 and an 8 for Peter Rafuse. Back to Paul Judge now. Opened with a 10, then had a spare. Of course, opening that spare right now. This guy's a pretty good pool player, Paul. Been around the felts a little bit. Got on the front end and picks up 6 with the late falling pin, and not that bad a setup with the 3, 5, 6, and 10. He wants to split these 2 or these 2. Not to be.
Make it a 9 there for Paul Judge. Goes to 35, 5 over.
Diane, special girl in Paul's life here today at the Super Bowl, taking this one in, watching Paul perform on the lanes.
Finds that 1-3 pocket. The left side wouldn't go.
Just a little thin. Paul's been around the bowling game a little bit. He's been bowling for 20 years, as we mentioned earlier. He's also been employed as a mechanic at the bowling centers. So if there's any mechanical problems today, we know who to call upon.
We've had our share of mechanical problems. Not at the Super Bowl, but...
Oh, you mean behind the scenes, the TV end of it?
Yeah.
No,
The mechanics of commentating, huh?
everybody's scrambling now. It wasn't me. It wasn't my gear. No, sir.
Oh, look at that.
We talk about some late action for Paul Bernard on his spare. You take all that. Left the pin out in front. Single pin to mark again. He's got it. So Paul Bernard opens with a 10, then back-to-back spares, 9 on the first one. Let's see what he gets on the second one. I'll tell you one thing, it's actually the mechanical aspects of this game. Down behind the masking unit and the pins, it's a whole new world, isn't it?
It's really something. I think we showed the folks that
I think we did one
a few
time.
years back. We took the camera back.
Behind the scenes look. 4 in the mark, and he's struggling here.
It's a huge crate of bananas at one end of the room. The chimpanzees back there.
But no,
Something to see.
Sure beats the squirrel on the treadmill, though.
Oh, yes, yes.
Joe King.
The squirrel's day is over, I think.
Those days are we're much more modern now. Joe King opened on the mark.
Gotta count 6.
He does. He got right on the front end, but just a tad flush. Yeah.
Bounced that ball, but I think it was inside the lob line. Didn't hear the...
Yeah. Well, the fact of the matter is, as long as it hits behind the lob line, if the ball bounces, not a problem. It's a 7 there. It's going to take a little minute here. Find the ball. Look at this. Boy, this is great late action here, and a very shaky pin out in front. Good setup here with the 1, the 3, and the 10. 3 pieces of wood on the plate. You see it there? And this ball in big time right there. Gosh, on the front end. Bang. So that'll be a 9 for Joe King. All 4 bowlers now, 4 frames under the belt. We talked about the experience of these bowlers in front of our cameras before. 2 of them have been here before. In the case of Paul Judge, it's been a long, long time. He was here, 5, 6 years ago. So almost the case of having 3 rookies in here, and Paul Bernard, who's been here before. But they're actually doing fairly well. And certainly in the case of Bernard, with the 2 marks, he looked very strong. But in that second mark, Paul only got 4, and then 7 in the box. So certainly nobody running away with this one.
Any advantage for Paul Judge in rolling on the lanes he's most familiar with? He bowls here quite often.
I think there is. That's a question that has been brought up before. Anybody that has bowled here, bowls in here in a league at the Super Bowl, I think they do have a slight advantage, but it's not that great, I don't think.
Yeah. Negligible.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
All right. We'll be back with more Belvedere Super Pins on ATV in a moment. Just don't go away. We'll be right back. Paul Bernard at 50, Paul Judge in at 45, Joe King at 41.
Peter, looking for his first mark, came real close. Frame or 2 ago. Tough split here. Oh, the wood out. So, albeit early in the match, only the 5th string in the 5th frame in the first string. Little pressure shot here. Ooh, moved that pin well off the spot, that being the 9, but he's not going to get it.
The old Garland moonwalk. Yeah. It wouldn't fall over.
Once again, this year, as is the case with every year, Garland pins being employed down there.
What do you pay him?
How much do they cost? These pins actually are only used during the Belvedere Super Pin Series. After the series, they're packed away until next year. So they're basically new pins. But having said that, we should also say they're also exactly the same as the pins in the 20 lanes here at the Super Bowl that are used 364 days a year. We are closed on Christmas. Paul Judge up now. 5 over par, 45. Off to the side, Wood coming back hard. Get more. Get the 7. A terrific split, but if it gets a little heavy on the front end, he can drive the 1 back on the 9. The ball will carry the 2 and the 7. Ooh, everything but the 9. Good try. A real good effort.
I think it's on the bid for the 10.
Again, a good hit by Paul Judge, but that's a real tough lead. He has a piece of wood way out on the left-hand side, but I honestly don't think he can bring that back and get the 6 pin. So he goes after the 6 and tries to chip it over. Now he'll come back and play the wood. And for Paul Judge, it's an 8 box in the 6th frame. In case you just joined us, it's the Belvedere Men Super Pin Series. We're in episode number 4. Round number 1, $150 to the top bowler today, $50 to the runner-up. More importantly, both will move on to the next round. Round number 2, and a good hit there by Paul Bernard. Round number 2, a round that'll feature $25 a frame. The 2 top bowlers move on to the semifinal at $50 a frame. The 2 top there, of course, move into that big championship match. 4 bowlers will bowl the first string for $100 a frame. Second string, frames of $200, $300, $400, $500, $700 for the 9th frame, and $1,000 for the 10th and final frame. And of course, if 2 tie in any of those skins, they all tie, and the money carries over to the next frame. So it gets kind of exciting.
Sure does, Bruce. We've had some real thrillers over the years.
Well, on 2 occasions, we've had 1 ball roll-off for $1,700. 4 horsemen for Paul Bernard. Should also mention, while we're talking about money, we've got a bonus for any bowler in this series who can bowl 3 strikes in a row. And we'll give him $2,000 if he does it twice. And maybe the keys to the building, I don't know.
And if he gets the triple,
that's definitely the building.
That said, in all these years, we've only seen a triple strike once.
Yeah.
And that particular season, we didn't have a prize for the triple strike.
The only time.
You'd almost think it was fixed or something.
Oh, what a hit for Joe. King leaves a 5 and 9. Pretty solid there. 5 and 9. You can play the 5 in the outside, kick the 5 into the 9, and get the ball to split them both. Tries to split them. Misses the 5. Mentioned Russell Henderson on standby today for the lob and foul line, and sitting in right now is Gerard Breaux. They've been alternating throughout the series.
Big hit there, unfortunately. It's the back row standing, minus the 7.
Boy, in the last going, we've seen some really tough splits. A piece of wood on the move here that could, well, that's going to just roll right on by. The looks of things get caught up a little bit. That could be a factor. Got to put both wood in play. Oh, look out!
The ball on the... just skirted around the 10 pin.
Well, that ball was coming hard. Goes after the single pin and gets a single pin, so it's 10 for Joe King. 6 frames down, 4 more to come. in the first string of 2 in this, our Belvedere Men's Series. Of course, the 2 top bowlers, as we mentioned, move on, but lots more bowling yet to come. Again, 4 frames in the first string to come.
All right, we'll be back with more of this first string and celebrity bowling. Stay with us. First place worth $100, second place $50. Here's Peter Rafuse looking for his first mark of the day. Just off that 1-2 pocket, but looks like great late action here. The 3 is just wobbled.
That's right. Yeah. For Peter, he's at 52, 8 under par right now, but really not that far off the pace. Only. Oh, there's a beauty.
First mark right there.
A beauty. He's only 11 pins out of second place right now, and with the mark, of course, he's going to pull right back up in contention. That was a real nice hit. On the mark now.
Front pin is the key, and he's just off the front pin here and gets some help. That 10-pin falls, leaves the 4 horsemen, 6 on the mark, as he goes to 68.
Pulls within 5.
And he's got the second
Boy,
spare.
you cannot play the 4 horsemen any better than that. He just hit it perfectly. Here's the guy he's chasing. So all of a sudden the action picks up. Peter Rafuse, spare in 7, spare in the 8. See how Paul Judge responds to that.
Big 8-pin break there.
Real good hit. But,
kind of a pocket hit he's looking at.
Yeah, we've seen this before. With a real good hit, and they'd go down in a hurry, and bang.
2 flush.
I think it was Joe King. Had the same split, took the 9 out and left the 5. In this case, Paul took the 5 and left the 9. Back gets his 10, though. So Paul Judge goes to 73, 3 over par.
Again, off the front pin. Gets the 2 and the 8 there.
Got a tough split here.
Look at
that's
this.
a great out. He's got it. That's a big mark for Paul Judge and a very tough split. Well, he sits down and gives way to Paul Bernard. Week number 4 in our Belvedere series. Give you a little recap and tell you who has qualified so far. There have been 6 that have qualified for quarterfinal play. Amazing in the very first episode. Well, there's a good second ball by Paul Bernard. Very second episode, Eugene Lindsay and Bill Black made it. Tony LeBlanc, former champion Charles Geldart, in the second episode. And in our last episode, Donnie Gauthier and Jim Curvin qualified. So we've got Lindsay, Black, Gauthier, Curvin, LeBlanc, and Geldart into quarterfinal play. This guy, Paul Bernard, trying to get there. He'll have the diamond for his second shot. Our defending champion, Kansas Snow. Very first episode. Struggled and didn't make it. Paul here looking for 10. Tricky piece of wood. Got it. So a 10 for Paul Bernard. That'll bring up Joe King. There are his numbers. You see him dead even at 60. 1 mark, that came in the second. On that mark, he picked up 6 bonus pins.
Wood coming back here, Bruce.
Yeah.
But now, Bruce looked at that, is moving out of the picture.
Oh, there's a great second ball. All 4 bowlers appear to be bearing down just a little more right now. Peter Rafue's got it going this set with a couple of spares in 7 and 8. Paul Judge picked up a spare in the 8. A couple of 10s from Bernard, now the 9. Joe King, like the mark here.
As we approach the 2/5 mark.
This is similar to the shot he had just a frame ago with the second ball, although it's like a mirror image because it's the other side. And again, he comes within a pin of making it a shaky 7-pin.
I think he wants to wait a second to see if that's going to go. No.
That is really, really shaky. Put 9.5 on that second ball.
Needs a nice breeze.
Out the wood. Looks like a 9 box. Yeah.
Sure it is.
Joe King. We check it out with Joe there, and that is a 9 box.
And we'll be back with the final 2 frames of this first string Belvedere Super Pins in just a moment.
When the choice is choice, it's abundantly clear. The taste of the people is different right here. Some like Italian, some French cuisine. That's why there's Stouffer's lean cuisine. Peppers, pastas, and Parmesan.
Well, he had a spare in the 7th, his first, and he followed up with another spare in the 8th. So Peter on a bit of a tear here. And he loads this one up pretty good with an 8 count. Wants that piece of wood in the middle to stay right where it is. He's going to need it. It's not angled terrific. But it gives him a shot anyway. Yes, sir. Wow. He hit it perfect.
Oh.
Got down real low. Ball took the 7. Wood
That was
took
the
the 10.
bedpost.
Yeah.
That was an
it.
amazing conversion.
Wood served him well. So 3 in a row now for Peter Rayfuse.
I'd like to have seen that one again.
Ooh, that's tough. Well. So that's the count of 6 on the mark for Peter Rayfuse. Ooh. Ball up. Ball came back up when you saw that wood move. Now he'll go to the right-hand side. Take a look.
Yes.
A little backdoor action there. That's a 9, but Peter Rayfuse rather finishes very strong with spares in 7, 8, and 9, and checks in with the 111. So that's the benchmark in the first string so far. 111 for Peter Rayfuse. All Judge up now, sitting at 83 and open on a spare. Needs 8 here to tie Peter for first place, but gets 5 for the tough split.
2, 4, 6, 7, 10.
Really has to split the 2 and 4 here. Toss the 2 over on the 6 and 10. Here's the shot. Great flush on the pin. And he makes that good. It's not a bad setup at all. With the 1, 3, 6 for Paul Judge, you can play it on the outside or the inside. You see it? Might want to lay the ball here. Kick everything in that direction. I'd choose to lay the ball in here. Got it.
Nice shot.
So Paul Judge now needs 5 in this mark to tie Peter Rayfuse for top spot of the half. Of course, Bernard, King yet to come.
Oh, it's a bundle.
9. So we have a new leader at the half in Paul Judge at 112. That Paul Judge at 115. Where did I go wrong?
Took 3 right away from him.
Yeah. Paul Bernard up right now. He had things going back in frames 2 and 3 when he had back-to-back spares. Hasn't marked since then. Would like to get it going again. All in 3rd place, and ooh. Top 5 box for Paul Bernard there. Paul will go over to the other side. Guy's a good one, only 3 pins shy of the 200 club. Struggling right now. Got an even 100. 1 ball to come. That's the way it will remain for Paul Bernard, 100. Now, Joe King up. You see the numbers for Joe King, 78, 2 under par after 8. Joe would like to get a couple of marks here.
Rolled a couple of 9s in the last 2 boxes.
Gets one of the 2. And gets his 10 there.
Joe King at 88.
Couple of late falling pins he might not have wanted. Leaves the feather shot. The thing about this, if it sticks around, is there's a lot of wood down there. And it is sticking around for the most part. Lays the ball in here and gets it over on this wood. Ball will kick into the 10 and the wood will take the 7. Here's the shot. Oh! Pretty good effort. So a single pin for Joe King. And he makes that one good for the 10. So we've reached the halfway mark in our Belvedere Men's Super Pins. Much more, including celebrity bowling, yet to come. And we'll be back right after this. Second place finish at this point in time, Peter Rafuse at 111. He finished with spares in 7, 8, and 9. Sort of came out of nowhere, and he is sitting second at 115. Our leader at 115, Paul Judge. Rafuse at 111. Then 100 for Paul Bernard and Joe King in at 98.
A couple of bowlers with 3 marks each on the board. Peter Rafuse, who strung 3 together in the last of that first string, and Paul Judge. Paul Bernard with a couple on the board, and Joe King with 1 mark. I think we could expect perhaps some more fireworks in the second string. They just seem to be getting warmed up now.
Absolutely. Talk about fireworks and good times. We got good times to give away, don't, for 2 people. Club Med.
Speaking of warmed up, huh? How would you like to be warmed up in the cool of the maritime winter? All you have to do is see your local retailer, drop by your local bowling center for details on how you could win a trip to Club Med, any one of their fine, make that fabulous resorts in North America. That includes Mexico and the Caribbean. So drop by your local retailer or bowling center today for the details on how to enter. We'll make the draw at the conclusion of the 92-93 season and back with the second half of Belvedere Super Pins right after it's the 4th round 1 match. 4 more to go, and then we're into the quarterfinals. Every frame worth $25. That's skins format. And look at this. What a start for Peter Rafuse.
Boy, he is hot as a pistol right now. Spares in 3 of the final 4 frames in string number 1. He starts off with the strike here. This is the guy we told you about in the zone roll-offs going into the final string. Rolled a 153, besting his nearest competitor at 152. Guy definitely can string him out. He's got a double. Good hit. 8-pin drop there, and another excellent chance to mark.
So he's got the 3 and the 6 there.
Good wood.
And he gets them. Paul, for Peter Rafuse, I'm sorry, certainly hot as of the 7th frame in the first string.
Boy. Paul Judge up now. There are his numbers. He was a leader at the half.
And look at this. Well, as predicted, more fireworks to start the second string here.
You got to be a little concerned. Now, let's see if he converts this one first. He should be able to get it into the woodpile and make this one good, though. He does. You got to be a little concerned if you're Bernard and King right now, because the first place bowler Judge marking, second place bowler picking up a couple of marks. Let's see what Paul Judge can get in his spare. Not too bad off the side. Give him 6. A little bit of a tough split, though, with the 1, 2, and the 2 bedposts, the 7 and the 10, right here for Paul Judge. Right idea. Now it's decision time for Paul. He can play one of the single pins, or he can try to get them both by playing the wood up front. After the both, well, he pressed the button a little soon there, because there is a ball on the plate. Looks like it wasn't going to be a factor anyway, and that'll be an 8 box for Paul Judge. Paul Bernard up now. There you see his first string numbers. Off to the side. He really had it going. First 4 frames, the first 3, in fact, he was 13 over par. There's a big hit. Big mark to Paul Bernard. Puts him right back in the hunt. 19 pins out of second place right now. Less, of course, what he gets here.
3 of our 4 bowlers have opened the second string with marks.
That's right.
Be up to Joe King to keep the trend going.
Now, all of a sudden, Paul Bernard's only 11 pins out of second, and he's got a corker of a setup here. That red band action right here. We'll get on that wood and on that wood. Got him.
Yes.
Right over top of the second piece of wood. So Paul Bernard gets 9 in this mark. When he gets up again, he can tie for second. Joe King up now. Joe King sitting at 98. Here's a guy that would really like to come up with a mark. He had one in the second. Has not marked since.
Ooh, right into that 1-3, and look at that.
This is a good setup.
8 fell back on the diamond.
A real nice setup here. Even has a little guide on the left-hand side. That piece of wood. He wants to dig down deep and get this one. Yes, sir. Joe King fights back, comes up with a spare to open the second game. A tough call in the 8th frame. The 7 pin. Got the pin, but caught a piece of wood in the channel first. And go back and take a close. Oh, that's tough for Joe. On the mark, punch in the middle, only got 5.
And this will be real tough to spare up.
Yeah, that's a tough break. Go to the other side now. Play the 2-4-7.
2, 4, 6, 7.
So an 8 box there for Joe King. Back to the top of the order, and the red-hot Peter Rafuse. 5 marks in the last 6 frames. For Pete the Heat. Again, he's on the front end. He counts 8 on that one, and depending on where the wood ends up, he'll have another run at another mark.
That's going to fall off the plate, but there's another piece rolling quickly now.
Yeah, he really wanted that wood up near the front.
It's going to wrap on the 10. Well,
he may
play the
try
left side, yeah.
He may try to round the nose, double wood. You never know what'll happen with double wood. Not to be this time. Good crack at the 10-4-10. He does get that 10.
Big 7-pin drop. Let's get the 2-4-5.
You just know that wife Donna and Shane and Stephanie are a little excited right now. Watch Peter here. Whoops. To the right-hand side a tad. Okay. Paul Judge, he's got Paul Bernard breathing down his back for second spot. Only 11 pins back is Bernard, and he is open on the mark. Judge here. Trying to slam the door. Oh, well. That's going to help a little bit. That's really not. Makes that shot a little tougher. to catch it right around here somewhere. Oh, he did.
Wow.
That's a perfect shot. Couldn't be on the nose of that wood. Got on the nose, it wouldn't have made it, but watch how he just gets a piece of the wood. Wasn't a lot of angle on that wood, and he just played it perfectly.
Paul Judge here with the 4th frame of the 2nd and final string. Open on the mark.
Once the 10, not going to get it. He does, however, get 7 on his mark. Wood coming up. They're going to turn. Well, might want to split the wood here and hope for the best. This one will have to come off the kickback, and on the 10, this one has to turn over.
Gave it a great
Boy, right over top of the second piece of wood. Gets that one. Or the 10. Well, that'll bring up Paul Bernard. Judge getting the spare. He trails by 18 less what he gets here for second place. And he's got them all. Wow. Tell you what, their heat is really on for that battle for top spot. One more time, good hit. 5-pin, there goes the final 2, and it's a big mark for Paul Bernard. Can he get the double and maybe have a run at the triple?
Coming back. Double on the 7.
Ooh. Great setup here for Paul Bernard to mark again.
This is one of those can't miss spare opportunities.
Boy, it's getting crowded at the top between Judge, Rayfuse, and Bernard. That's another mark. Paul Bernard starting the second string with 4 marks. Joe King, the odd man out right now. He has to start thinking mark. Wow. Taking a look at those top 3. Rayfuse on top, 169. 1 pin back Bernard and open on a spare, and then just 3 pins back Paul Judge.
Oh, Wood just turned away from. Boy, the way that wood was played, it could have taken that 9.
Yeah. And gets it. So Joe King gets his 10. But the way Bernard, Rayfuse, and Judge are going, going to have to start thinking mark. Off to the right-hand side of Ted. So 3 pins left for Joe King. Lays this one down and gets 1 of the 2. A 3 rather has to settle for an 8, but a red-hot Paul Bernard putting a lot of pressure on both Paul Judge and Peter Rayfuse for the top spot. A lot of pride and a lot of money at stake, but really, what's it all about, Alfie?
Well, it's this baby in my arms right here. This is the championship trophy. This is the keeper. The person who wins the Belvedere Super Pins Championship Men's Series will take home this very handsome-looking trophy.
Well, indeed, that is a beauty. And, Paul, we know that when we get down to that final match, the big money's on the line. We end up playing for $1,000 for a frame, but time and time again, the bowlers have said, we really do like the money, but you can't buy these trophies. That winner's trophy, you can only win it, and there's only one way to get it, and that's finish first by a pinfall, and all the money in the world can't buy it. So quite often there's a bit of a trade-off with bowlers who say, yeah, I made a lot of money, but I was only 2nd or 3rd. I would give all the money to have one of those trophies. They're nice.
Now, producer Jim Hill just mentioned in my ear that we've, was it this year or that? Oh, never mind. That we do have on videotape the disputed pin from the 8th frame of the first string for Joe King.
And I think we should play down the word dispute, because really there was no dispute. It was very, very close. And Joe King, quite frankly, he didn't know. And quite frankly, we saw it here. We weren't sure. We went back and took a look at it via the tape, and it shows that the the ball rather, caught the wood that was in the channel, then took out the 7-pin, and thus it was an 8-box, or at least a 9-box for Joe King in that frame. But all in all, a very, very close play rather than a tough one to call. You'll see how tough it is as we take a look at it now. Just see the wood there. It just touches that. Now, that was so close. That was so very close. It just caught the end of the wood, then on the pin. And that pin was in the channel. Again, you see it there? Just touches the wood and onto the pin. So certainly Joe King kind of threw up his hands and said, well, I'm not sure. And I did too. It's nice to have that replay effect so we can call these exactly as they happened. That was back in string number 1. This is string number 2, 6 frames to come.
And we'll be back right after these messages. The books, 2 of these bowlers will move on today. Peter Rafuse has a pretty good shot at it. He's at 169. He's our leader right now, a pin ahead of Paul Bernard, who's open on a spare. And then just 3 pins back is Paul Judge.
Yeah, this is a real heated battle for top spot. And to keep the heat on, Pete's got to pick up this one, and it won't be easy.
Just the 1 and the 10 there.
Yeah.
A lot of space between those 2 pins. He's got to play this perfectly, and it's a difficult one.
You can go back now and get the 10 for 10. As you mentioned, Paul Judge only 3 pins back. Of course, Bernard 1 pin back and open. So it is 10 for Peter Rafuse.
He's got 3 in a row up on the board now.
Well, if you go back to the 7th frame, we're looking at 4 spares, a strike, and 3 10s and a 9. Got a 9-pin break here. A piece of wood out in front he has to be a little careful with. Can't get too far out to this side here. He'll turn it away and by the pin. Has to get up the other way and turn it back in, right of the red band.
Oh, he's got it for the spare.
So, again, more pressure on Paul Judge. See how he can respond. Trails Rafuse by 3, but Rafuse, by virtue of the spare you just saw, is open. Paul Judge knocks down 6 pins. 1, 2, 4. Shouldn't be a problem, but the pin in behind, the 8, might be tricky. He's got them all. That's a good mark for Paul Judge. He had a tough shot, look a little easier. Ball got right through off the 1, onto the 2, and then straight back on the 8. Let's see what he can get on it.
Leaves the diamond.
6 on the mark, that's right, leaves the diamond.
And he's looking for the demise of the diamond here.
Yeah.
Another spare.
Wants to be the diamond splitter. No. That's the pin lying around there. That's the 9 for Paul Judge. Now Paul Bernard. He is open on a big spare. Really no room for error at the top right now. 3 of them battling it out, including this man, Paul Bernard. Only 2 can move on. Don't count out Joe King yet. He has 6 frames to go. You can string him out.
Paul Bernard looking for his 5th straight string here, or a spare, or mark, I should say. Had the strike in the 3rd. It's going to be difficult to spare up. He's got the 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. He's got to go into the 1, 2 pocket. Instead, found the big hole to the right of that front pin. So the streak ends for Bernard here.
So there's a 7 for Paul Bernard. Other side. Big hit, tough lead. Piece of wood, though. Very interesting shot here. See that piece of wood right there? There's another one right up here. Let's go back and get right on the pins. Piece of wood rolling back slowly down the lane there. resting against the 4. He's on the wood and settles for a 9. So Paul Bernard will sit down, give way to Joe King, a guy that'd like to put a few marks on the board. I tell you what, this guy is my kind of guy when it comes to the golf links. Likes to golf a little bit, but says his golf bag includes a compass and chainsaw. I can certainly identify with that. There's a good hit for Joe King. Would like to have one of those too, though. Tough break.
He's got some 2 pieces of wood. One is near the top of the plate. I wonder if he'd want to get that lay off and kick back.
Oh. He would want to put that in play. Maybe missed the end. I want to say hello to Wes Radcliffe, buddy of Joe King's. How you doing, Wes? Wish you were here too. Apparently, Wes would like to have a chance to appear in our Belvedere Super Pins. Like many others, it's tough to get here. We say hello also to all the gang at the Lakefield Elementary School. Chris, Pam, Sis. Good hit there. Joe King gets the mark this time. As we go back to the top of the order once again, and Peter Rafuse, this guy in a battle. You want to mark these scores down? We'll give them to you. This is with 4 frames for Boulder to come. Peter's our leader, or at least in second place. Paul Judge, our leader, at 191. Peter at 189 plus what he gets on his first ball here. He gets 7, so he moves into the lead by 5 pins over Judge. Only 4 pins behind Paul Judge is Paul Bernard. And Joe King now at 158, but he's open. Peter trying to keep it going. And he does. Wow, what a shot. Boy, this guy is very, very impressive. Once again, we look at this shot. It's a shot that he makes look easy. Not all that easy.
Good to have that wood back on the 8 pin. I'll go for another 4, 6, 10.
The good news, of course, is he gets the mark and he gets 7 on it. The bad news is he's left a tough split here. All that wood not angled real good. 3 pieces, of course, the one here, one over here, then there's one over here. Look him to go to the left-hand side. He does. Well, look out. Ooh.
Well, he sure did have the right idea. Unfortunately, that wood didn't come back hard enough.
No.
That 6 very shaky. Should be no problem to get these.
Get on the first piece of wood and onto the pin, but it's a 9 for Peter Rafuse. And we are really getting down to it now. Paul Judge up. Paul Judge trailing by 11 pins. Top spot now.
Oh, that is
race
just
through
tough.
the middle. Yeah, that's.
Took the 1 and the 5 straight back and left everything else.
Really have to bear down here. Wow, it's a pretty good out on the right-hand side. See what he can do with the left. That's a pretty good-looking 9. But it means he leads Paul Bernard to that all-important second placing now by only 2 pins.
Pin count's what it's all about here. Every pin's important at this stage of the game.
Well, he's given himself a chance here to mark, certainly with the 1-3-6, but he seems to be fighting a little bit. Getting on the front end. Boy, no doubt about that. Paul Judge making them fly. Comes up with yet another big mark that puts pressure now on Paul Bernard. Bernard trailing Judge by 2. And he, like Judge, 2 frames ago, punches through. Will have to bear down. And he does. Right-hand side, now the left.
A couple of key pins dropped there. He wants to come back and recover those with a mark.
Judge by 4 now. And Judge has got a ball working when he gets up in the 9th. And that is exactly what Bernard needs here to come up with the mark. He does it. It's going to be via a very tough route. The 2, the 4, wood behind the 4, but then the 10 over on the right-hand side. He really has to split these pins or play the ball over. He was trying to play it on the outside and get the ball over. And only gets an 8. So, a couple of tough boxes there for Paul Bernard. Now Joe King. He's open on a mark. He has 4 frames left. He certainly has the ability to make a run at the leaders. Everybody over in Fairview Avenue in Rothsay, New Brunswick, pulling for this guy. See what he can get on his mark. Boy, he got the big hit. He's got 8. And he's got another great chance to mark. Yep. 3 and 6. Yes, sir. He's got him. Joe King, under some pressure, big time, comes up with another mark. Well, making a run of it. Well, he's got 7 more there, and again he's got a chance to mark. Piece of wood on the move. The question is, can he get by the wood? We're going to look at it. There you see it. If he can get by here, he'll want to be just about there. Oh, too far to the right-hand side.
He's really going to have to come up big in the 9th and 10th frames.
Big thing for Joe is he's given himself a chance. Peter Rayfuse, meanwhile, continues to lead it. Paul Judge settling into second, open on the spare. And that's the good news for him. Paul Bernard struggling with a couple of 8. Big thing for Peter here is he wants to, if he can mark, it's terrific, but just pin well. He'll look very strong for that top placing. $100 for the winner today, $50 for second place, but more importantly, they do move on to quarterfinal action in our Belvedere Men Super Pin Series. This guy, he gets this. Well, leaves the door open slightly. Couple of pins down there. Gets one of the 2, picks up the 9 for Peter Rayfuse. So he continues to look strong on the top. Paul Judge now trailing by 11 pins, but Judge is open. Oh, another.
Look at this.
Good hit. Late falling pin. Yeah, just to be a little bit careful here.
Just avoid that piece of nosewood, I think.
Yeah,
even if he hits that,
he should be all right. Yeah, just to be sure, come in that way,
yeah.
And there'll be no doubt about it. Like you said, it didn't really matter. Peter gets the spare. And with that, you got to believe, got himself a place in quarterfinal play.
Now all that's to be determined is, will he make $100 today or only $50?
Right. 6 more there. Nice finish for Peter Rayfuse. An excellent 136 to go with his 111. Boy, he was tough today. Now Paul Judge is up. Paul Judge needs 37 pins in the final 2 frames to tie for first. He's got 6 there. His biggest concern right now has to be Paul Bernard, who's behind him. Pins back and a big mark there for Paul Judge. This is real bad news for both Bernard and Joe King, who was trying to get something going. Meantime, now Judge, it's a game of Peter Rayfuse for top spot. Oh, that won't help. Up at 4. Two pins on the left-hand side are the ones he'll go after now. The 4 and the 7. Try and come out of this with a 9. Gets one of the two. That's an 8-box for Paul Judge. And that'll bring up Paul Bernard. Paul Bernard, 123 the string for Paul Judge, by the way. Two-string total of 238. And Paul Bernard's at 203 right now, so
35 pins.
35 pins in his final 2 frames.
To force a 1-ball roll-off.
Almost had the strike.
He's got the spare.
There, he's hanging in there. Well, let's see what happens.
25 pins.
This one down. Oh, that's really hurts.
That's going to hurt. You got it.
Yeah, only 3 there.
So he's 22 pins away, and
oh, boy, he gave that a nice effort. Not going to be for Paul Bernard, but hey, he bowled real well. Certainly started the second string in the style with a couple of spares and a strike and a spare, but for the Rogersville native, make sure you say hello to him when he comes back. He did real well, did Paul Bernard. Now Joe King has got to think strike.
No doubt about it. 46 pins away from a 1-ball roll-off. It's going to be 46 pins here. It's got to be striking. It's not going to be for Joe King today.
It'll be tough when you're Joe King. You finished 4th in the first string, but not that far out. But the guys ahead of you put together strings of 136, 123, and 125. He just didn't leave a lot of room for Joe King. Cleans the plate there. One thing we know that Wes Ratcliffe and all the guys in Rossay will be welcoming Joe back, and everybody at Bowmore Haymarket Square. Big strike there.
Well,
Joe still has a shot at the grand if he can do this 2 more times. That's a perfect hit. It's a great hit. See if he can do it again. Pretty good effort. So there's 1 more ball yet to go. Lays it down, makes it good. Nice finish. It's nice to see that for Joe King. But Joe King and Paul Bernard step by the wayside. Peter Rafuse and Paul Judge will now move on to quarterfinal action in our Belvedere Men's Super Pin Series.
A couple of Nova Scotians make it today, and they join Charles Geldart, Tony LeBlanc, Eugene Lindsay, Bill Black, Don Gauthier, and Jim Curvin in our quarterfinals, which will get underway in about 4 episodes from now. Exactly.
That's right. That's a quarterfinal series 2, Paul, that will feature our skins portion. The beginning of that, $25 a frame in that competition. Of course, the 2 top bowlers via pinfall will then move on to semifinal action. 2 things happen there. You're just 1 win away from that big final, but also you're into a situation where we pay $50 a frame in that semifinal game. But you only have to beat a couple of bowlers in that competition to get to the final, and that indeed is where you can strike it rich. The first string carries frames of $100 apiece. That's $100 per frame in that series, and that's only the first string. The second string, Paul, gets even more interesting.
Sure does. $200 for the first 2, $300 for frames 3 and 4, $400 for 5 and 6, $500 for 7 and 8, and then that 9th frame worth $700 in the final frame, $1,000. Those are the individual frame prizes. You throw in carryovers, and the money really adds up. You can be playing for thousands by, the middle of the second string.
And a lot of the bowlers coming in, it's tough to get here, number 1, but a guy by the name of Kansas Snow, the defending champion, who always seems to do well in front of our cameras and in our Super Pin series, has been eliminated now in the very first matchup. It just goes to show you, no matter how good you are, you can be beaten on any given day. You can be beaten, and that's what happened to him. So the champion, the defending champion, is out. The field is wide open, and the ears of the bowlers kind of picked up a little bit until you mean he's really gone in show 1. So all the bowlers now may be a little bit more optimistic for their chances.
The series really characterized by new faces. We're seeing a lot of new blood coming in through the ranks.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing them certainly in this series. Want to remind you folks at home that at the conclusion of our 92-93 bowling season, we'll be drawing for a trip for 2 for a fabulous week's vacation at Club Med, any one of their wonderful resorts in North America. That includes Mexico and the Caribbean. What do you have to do? Simply see your local retailer, drop by your local bowling center for details on how to enter, and enter soon. We'll be drawing at the end of our 92-93 season. Could you imagine a week? Be wonderful. Here are the final scores. Paul Bernard and Joe King, we say so long to. Peter Rafuse and Paul Judge going on to our second round. We'll be back in just a moment. Palmer, Ali Ross, Burt McDonald, Sandy McPherson. For Bruce Steven, I'm Paul Menyes. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.